Key point 1. Saying yes to everyone means you're saying no to yourself. Most believe that helping others is an inherent part of kindness. However, always being available can cause others to use you to fulfill their desires. Helping a person in trouble is a nice gesture. However, what if that person is your friend who needs to borrow your car for a date or a neighbor asking you to watch their dog for the weekend? Is it necessary to sacrifice your time or comfort to meet their needs? These doubts plague many people as they assume that kindness means always helping others. You may be one of them if your parents have always demanded that you agree to their requests or indoctrinated you with their views on benevolence. Overcoming this belief can be challenging, but living in constant service to others is burdensome, especially when your aspirations and dreams demand your time, money, or efforts. Moreover, you might often betray yourself to satisfy others' needs. It is particularly evident when you feel low and stressed after agreeing to help someone while sacrificing your pursuits. For example, you break your plans because your friend asks you to pick them up from the airport. People who strive to please everyone will please no one. Helping others is excellent, but everything should be in balance. Ignoring or rejecting people who indeed need help can lead to negative consequences, as well as depend on each other to a certain degree. Therefore, you must learn to serve others without causing harm, discomfort, or undue self-sacrifice. In this summary, you'll discover ethical and effective ways to reject a request without offending a friend, colleague, or boss. Follow through to learn to keep your boundaries and put your needs first. Key point 2. Turning down a request takes more courage than accepting it. Many people agree to please others constantly because they fear saying no. Some believe they cannot manage the stress, so they give in. In other cases, people can be very stubborn and persistent in their demands, so it's impossible to back down. Therefore, saying no requires bravery. However, the difference between confidence and rudeness can be fragile. You may think you're declining a request politely, but in reality, the person walks away offended and hurt. Therefore, avoiding such situations is critical to maintaining healthy and balanced relationships with family, friends, and colleagues. Here are 2 top tips you must understand to master the art of saying no. Your priorities are your responsibility. People like you when they need something from you, yet the pursuit of approval can make you neglect your own needs. Over time, you'll notice that everyone else has progressed in their life or career, and you expect their gratitude and favors in return. After all, you sacrificed a lot to help them, didn't you? In such cases, you must understand that most people prioritize their needs. That is natural and wise. Even flight attendants instruct you to wear your mask before anyone else. Why? Because you cannot help others if you cannot help yourself. Sacrificing your sleep, meals, or plans to cater to someone's needs can significantly impact your life and health. Sure, you can and should help others, but not at the price of your needs. Serve yourself first and then give to others. Constantly putting others' needs first always backfires. Your voice and tone matter. While people may not remember all the good things you did for them, they can recall the times you rejected their request, especially if you did it rudely. Therefore, you must be graceful but assertive. The good news is that you can train yourself to deny people's requests appropriately, even if you are timid or used to pleasing people. Prioritizing your needs is essential, not selfish. Sometimes people confuse directness with rudeness. Curiously, many people cater to others' needs because they believe they won't offend anyone this way. However, constantly neglecting your responsibilities and desires leads to stress, exhaustion, problems at work and home, and a distorted schedule, making individuals lash out at people they love or respect. Key point 3. Fears of hurting others can turn you into a people pleaser. The belief that you must abandon your wants to serve has existed for centuries. Ever since people codepended on each other's help, you could count on someone's favor if you granted theirs. However, this belief can be limiting as it can directly affect your career, relationships, mental growth, and health. People tend to prioritize others' needs instead of rejecting them to avoid adverse reactions. Check out some examples. Insult. You may recall when you politely declined someone's request for help, only to see frustration, irritation, a change of tone, or even hostility in their response. Unfortunately, many people make this mistake. In reality, you're not responsible for the other person's feelings as long as you are honest and ethical. Disappointment. Often, unmet expectations cause people to become upset or irritated. People pleasers often see such reactions when they start to change, as many people are already used to the available source of time, effort, and money you are for them. It's important to realize that people's expectations aren't yours to carry. Prioritizing your needs is your right. Your life, your choices. Seeming selfish. People naturally want to be liked, so most dress up, smile, do nice things, and compliment each other. These behaviors form the foundation of many acquaintances and friendships. Nonetheless, this habit can be burdensome. Constantly satisfying people's needs makes you vulnerable to manipulation, and the fears of appearing selfish leads you to feel guilty for fulfilling your own needs or pursuing your goals. Disappointment springs from unmet expectations. Damon Zahariades. Support and help are critical for any relationship, but every time you invest in someone, you're not contributing to someone else. For example, helping your colleague finish their project may cost you family time or a romantic date with your partner. Therefore, be clear about your priorities. After all, your time is limited, and you cannot sacrifice your free hours to people who keep coming back. Catering to everyone's needs can lead to frustration and exhaustion. Thus, sometimes refusing may receive a negative response. Some of your friends will think that you're selfish and take offense. That's okay. You must balance your life and live up to your own expectations before meeting everyone else's. Ultimately, all that matters is to live life as you want it. Key point 4. Helping others is not beneficial if it impedes your growth and happiness. The internal struggle to say no may stem from well-intentioned beliefs that equate helping others with spiritual fulfillment through self-sacrifice. However, this mindset can be detrimental to your daily life. For instance, if you attempt to help everyone, everywhere, you won't have time to shower or have a meal. The flow of people asking for help will rise. Therefore, you must turn it into a spring. Otherwise, it will become a tsunami. The desire to help others is natural when you like the person. It's how you care for your loved ones. Yet, what if you do it for people outside your household and neglect your responsibilities for your family as a result? Acquaintances often express their gratitude more readily than loved ones, creating an emotional high you start to chase. Helping feels good, especially if a person praises you afterward. Yet, the price for such behavior can be remarkably high. For instance, you can stop to help a stranger change a tire, but arrive late to your child's birthday party and see disappointment and hurt on their face. Catering to everyone can also cause professional or personal regression because you lack the time and energy to reach your goals. Thus, you can consciously sacrifice your well-being for someone else. There's no right or wrong in agree or reject situations. It's all about priorities. Sometimes you may choose to please others because you believe your time is less valuable than theirs. Such thoughts come from a low sense of self-worth. People with this issue often put their needs on the back burner as they try to gain attention and appreciation through their service. Being assertive means having the self-confidence to express your needs and wants, and pursue your own ends, even in the face of opposition. Damon Zahariades. Saying no gets even more complicated when you clearly understand that you don't want to do something, but fear it may negatively affect your promotion, friendships, or relationship. For example, you may not want to go to a party because you're tired and need rest, but your partner insists, and you fear that your rejection may lead to a fight. Therefore, you choose the lesser evil. Thankfully, being a people pleaser is a skill you develop from childhood. Thus, you can unlearn it. Slowly, you'll prioritize your needs and reject excessive requests with less effort and anxiety. Key point 5. Assertiveness is simple when you know how to do it. Some situations may be challenging, and you may need help to determine how necessary your assistance is and what you may lose if you agree, especially when the person is pushing you to answer immediately. Therefore, check out these strategies for acting in a particular situation, whether you're a chronic people pleaser or want to avoid unnecessary requests. Answer sincerely and directly. Unconfident behavior signals to the requester that they can persuade you because your answer is indefinite. It also steals your and another person's time. However, a straightforward answer may seem personal. Therefore, you must add a genuine reason why you refuse. When you give a person a cause of your rejection, they understand that it's not about them and helps to empathize and accept your reaction better. Thus, you can say, "I won't fix your garage door because I'm taking my child to classes." It sounds realistic and honest. Don't haggle. Another weakness a person can demonstrate when saying no is misleading the other person. You want to say that you'll not do them a favor, but make them believe you'll do it later. Either you fear answering directly, or don't have a genuine reason to refuse. So you say, "maybe later," while your thoughts say, "no way." This game may continue and become a fight, as your requester can start persuading you of their want's significance. Thus, your wills may collide. If you refuse too harshly, it can damage your relationship. On the other hand, the requester can be a great haggler and make you do what they want because your excuses block your way. If you say you cannot do it today, they will ask you to do it tomorrow. An excuse is a form of a lie. Find another way to refuse. You must be careful when rejecting a sensitive friend or colleague. Otherwise, they may think you are selfish, uncaring, and rude. Such cases can create an abyss between you, especially if you add no explanation. Thus, choose another form of saying no. For example, say, "I'd love to do you this favor, but my family needs me today." Or, "Thank you for entrusting me with your issues, but my schedule is hectic this week." Key point 6. Modify your behavior to master your life. Managing your time and life becomes easier when you're responsible and genuine about your needs. However, getting to know yourself and determining your wants takes time and effort. Hence, you must value both. Follow these tips to use your limited resources effectively and not drain them into someone else's life. Take responsibility. When a person asks you for a favor and you blame relatives, duties, or the weather for your inability to help, the other person will respect you less because they can feel your hypocrisy. Thus, name genuine reasons for your unwillingness to help. For example, by saying, "I can't help you because my car is broken," you put the responsibility on your car, and the other person can wait until you get your vehicle repaired. Saying, "I don't want to," and giving a proper reason, even if it is your exhaustion, unwillingness, or desire to spend time with your family, is a reason enough to refuse. You build confidence and strength when you learn to say no and rely on yourself. Allow your needs to come first, even if it's just for an hour. You'll feel better because you made this possible by not caving into someone else's will. Now, guilt and self-loathing won't bother you because you refused, and thus can live the life you want. "I can't" is another word for "I don't want to, but I'm afraid to say it out loud." Suggest an alternative. Refusing can be hard, especially if you like the person and genuinely want to help them, but you know it will interfere with your plans or duties. Fortunately, you can offer them another person or way to do things. For example, introduce your neighbor to an excellent manual service if they want to fix something in the house and request your help. The same concerns professional areas. You can advise the person to ask your colleagues about the issue. However, don't simply send them off to anyone if you don't know that company or whether the coworker is available. Suggesting something different is about easing the person's life, not wasting time seeking help. Therefore, do it out of care and respect, not out of fear of simply saying no or trying to get rid of the person. Key point 7. Knowing your strengths and weaknesses is being sure you can win no matter what. Saying no gets more complex when a person is pushing or manipulating you. Even the slightest doubt or unconfident behavior can make them think you can sacrifice your time for them. Then more people will learn to reach their goals through you. Such an attitude can hurt your self-worth and self-esteem, deter your professional growth, and strain your relationships and life. Thus, you must be firm and determined, especially with people inclined to intimidate or manipulate you. For example, you know your colleague constantly asks others for help with their projects. So when they approach you, stay polite but direct in your decision. They can get frustrated or angry, but that shouldn't shatter your peace. Your tone can be strict, but it doesn't mean you are rude. They won't like your answer, but you are not responsible for their reaction. An ethical and courteous attitude is critical for a successful refusal. If you let your emotions control your reaction, you can offend or hurt the other person. So stay calm but decisive. However, you cannot ensure your calm and polite answer if you have a hectic day, argue with your partner before going to work, or are so exhausted that you can barely smile. Your coworker's request can become the last straw, causing you to lash out at them for seemingly no reason. Therefore, remember not to respond to any requests before you feel better. Send the person off and talk about the issue later. Otherwise, you can sow what you don't want to reap. Assess the request before agreeing or declining. Finally, don't be too harsh on yourself if you agree to a request sometimes, or if someone takes offense to your no. You are not responsible for others' feelings and reactions. You can hurt yourself if you agree to help everyone, and rejecting requests doesn't make you immortal, even if some think so. Be honest with yourself and remember, prioritizing your needs is self-care, not selfishness. Your time is precious just as much as everyone else's, but you are the one who must value it. Did you know? According to a YouGov survey from August 2022, 49% of Americans identify as people pleasers. Conclusion. Catering to everyone's wishes is sometimes easier than ignoring a person's request, especially if that is your spouse or a coworker. Some people find it even harder to refuse acquaintances like old classmates or friends. Yet, saying no is the only way to preserve your precious hours. You may think that favor will take an hour, but it may take your whole day in the end, and you may regret agreeing. Helping people in trouble is honorable, but most people approach with questions and requests that are neither grave nor important. Many like to do things with others' hands or save time by delegating the task to someone else. To save their time, they demand you sacrifice yours. And if you make it a habit to agree to every request, your loss may be unjustified. Therefore, refusing is critical to care for your own needs. So when you notice yourself saying you have no time for the things you love, ask yourself if you prioritize your needs enough. After all, it's the only way to tend to your family, do what you love, develop yourself, and rest properly. Sometimes refusing people can lead to an adverse reaction. You must get used to it. It's not your fault. It's someone else's choice. As long as you turn them down politely and honestly, you are breaking no rules. Remember, you can only give someone water once your well is full. So never drain yourself to save others. Try this. Turning down requests can be burdensome if you are a people pleaser. So start with minor tasks with strangers. For example, refuse salespeople. They won't take offense, and you will master the art of rejection.